I would like to again apologize to specifically Wallis for not having an intro.
Yeah, unacceptable, but it's okay. I'll push through my disappointment.
Yeah, would my lovely co-hosts like to introduce themselves? We've got quite a lot of people here already. You guys.
Just noticed that Wallis doesn't have an emoji, and it looks a little.
Oh, I'll let me fix that. Give me a second. Danny, you introduce yourself, and I'll edit my name.
All right, hello, I'm Danny from the channel Somberhoney. I post videos on Fridays and sometimes every other Tuesday, although next week, instead of a video on Tuesday, I'm going to be streaming on Monday. We're going to be tier ranking not all of my story ideas, because I realized I have literally a million, but a bunch of my story ideas in order to narrow down what I want to work on for the Worldwide Write-a-thon. So check that out. I think it's going to be a fun time.
That's exciting. I think, and I feel like I shouldn't even say this live because I don't want to commit to it beforehand, but I think I'm going to try and tackle the Dark Chocolate trilogy during the Write-a-thon, because I feel like if I couldn't do it during Nano, then it's got to be the Write-a-thon, right? I don't know.
I get you.
Yeah.
Wait, but like all three of them in one weekend?
Well, yeah, because they're all. I think they're all basically going to be the same story. This is basically me cheating and being like, it's a trilogy. Honestly, part of me is like, yeah, each is going to be 100 words, and the whole thing is not even going to be 500 words. So, but we'll see. But yes, hello, I'm Wallisimo. I am so happy to be the third leg of this tripod today. Yeah, thank you for having me. That's all I have to say. Except for the fact that there wasn't an intro. So rude, but it's okay. We'll move on.
Also, I realized I should probably have started with this, but we're doing mini Chaos Queen streams with an extra troublemaker as a guest host because of scheduling issues. So this is the first one out of 4. The next one
is going to be the best one. I'm already committed to that.
Obviously. Second one will be on Crystal's channel, who's linked below, as well as both of my co-hosts and all of the Chaos Queens and all of the Troublemakers. You have no idea how long I spent searching for all of those links.
Just make a document. I literally have a document with every single Instagram and YouTube link for all of my friends, just on the off chance that I need to put it in the description of a video.
That's really smart.
It's like 6 pages long.
Oh my god.
Well, I also have my basic copy and paste
not Danny casually flexing that she has a lot of friends. If I made that, it would be like a OneNotes document.
It's more like everyone has a lot of links.
That's fair. And because everybody has multiple socials too, so fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I copy pasted the Chaos Queens ones. It's just I had to search for all the Troublemaker ones.
That's fair.
Also, Steeg is impossible to find.
Yeah. That's by design on his part.
Just put a link to the Wikipedia page for Norway.
The only way I managed to find him was by searching up his name, coming across a stream he did on Sam's channel, and then copying the links from there. It's not even in the Troublemaker one.
He deleted all of our Troublemaker streams off of his channel. So
deleted or privated?
Well, initially he'd privated them, but then we were teasing him, and I don't know. I think he threatened to just delete them, so I don't know, but we'll see. Oh, since we're live and I can broadcast, I don't know if people know what they're doing during the first sprint, but depending on how long Marta makes it, I suggest everybody go and watch Katie's new video, because Katie Ann writes his new video, I should specify, although I figure everybody knows that. She broke her YouTube hiatus today, just about half an hour ago, with a book review of the new V.E. Schwab book, and it was a super good video. I've already watched it because I'm a top tier fan, but
you're spiritually in the room with her when she films.
What? Sorry?
You're spiritually in the room with her when she films.
I am. Actually, oftentimes I am just there with her when she films. So I'm on her computer screen and I'm watching her film, because we literally spend 18 hours out of 24 with each other all day, every day. Yeah, Steeg is really hard to find now that he's deleted all the content off his channel, but all good.
I'm gonna say hi to the chat because it's been 5 minutes and I feel like this is primarily Wallis's influence.
What?
Well,
Wow. Bye.
Oh, come back! I'm not stalling until you
Say
come
hi
back.
to the chat, Marta.
Crystal is here. Hi, Crystal. Katie is here. I will share her link before we go into a sprint as well, so everyone can watch it. I'm specifically gonna be making the sprint the same length as her video, so we can watch it. I also haven't seen it yet. Yay, Wallis likes me again. Laura's here. Hello. Also, Cal is here. Hello. Finishing up lunch, and then it's back to critiques. Laura says she found the Lovecraft anthology she wants to write a story to submit to. Due date is May 31st. Really excited.
That's exciting.
That sounds really good.
And you're gonna get it, Laura. I feel like you get into every single anthology you ever submit to because you're so incredible.
And nice from Crystal. Can't tell if I need my snippet reading voice or if it's about the anthology.
I think it's she's giving like an elevator pitch.
Okay. The elder god we have to base the story around is... Okay, yeah, as a thought, the entire universe is in his black hole chaos demon's dream. And if he wakes up, we blink out of existence.
Sorry, I got really confused. And when they're like, it's in his black hole. I thought it said in his butthole.
Wallis.
Sorry, that reading comprehension is not on point today, but that's so interesting. Okay, interesting.
Anna's also here. Hi, Anna. Yeah, existential dread. Gotta put up a ghost emoji.
I went with Saturn because I feel like ultimately that is my true self. You know, Ghost Wallis is an alter ego, but Wallisimo is Saturn.
Makes sense.
Laura says my power and water have gone out for the second time today. They're working on the pipes at the apartment complex. Ooh, that
Which
sucks.
means you're using precious cellular data to be here at the stream, and we appreciate you, Laura.
And battery life.
Yeah, seriously. But you have your priorities in order, which we all approve of.
Anna says literally so excited for the tier ranking adventure, Danny. Same. Yes.
I'm glad that someone's excited because I'm stressed because I'm going to be talking about a lot of these stories for the first time on my channel. I'm like,
Ooh, that. So it's like a double, like, it's doubling as an announcement video almost.
kinda. It's
Yeah.
a lot of stories that like I just haven't worked on in the year and a half that I've had a channel.
Okay.
So like
Wow.
I haven't had an excuse to talk about them.
When's your AuthorTube anniversary?
October 14th or
Okay.
16th.
Okay.
One of those.
Do you know how you're gonna like go about it? Like, are you asking people's opinions, or are you just gonna choose? I'm not sure
I
if you
figured
want
I
to.
would just talk about it and like have people comment on what I'm saying. Like I made little icons for each of them to like put in the tier rank thing, and so like when I get to that icon, I'm gonna like talk a little bit about the story, and people can like say what they think about it, stuff like that. Just casual.
That sounds really good. Michael is here. Many hashtags. Hi Elaine. Also, oh my god, Danny, that is so smart. I also struggle when I have to link people. Yes.
I am all about the cheat sheets.
I mean, it sounds a lot faster than having to go into my channel to find previous links and copy it, so I might have to steal that idea.
Go for it.
Oh my god, no,
You gotta
not
deal
the
with it, babe.
promo. It's the codependency file.
It's true.
Yay, new Katie video. Gonna be eating lunch, watching Katie's video.
no,
before we
she's
get
eating
back to
lunk.
work.
She's eating lunk.
I don't think I asked people what they were doing actually. Do you want to share what you're doing?
I'm gonna be reading. I have oh gosh, my bookmarks are everywhere. The Girl from the Other Side. I'm finally gonna be reading a physical manga because the first 2 series that I read this month I read digitally, and I'm like, my eyes need a rest, so reading that. And then I have 3 bookmarks that I don't know which one I want to use, so I pulled them all out. So
Aw.
where's my camera? Which bookmark do you guys think I should use?
The one that's it's a moth and a moon. Is that right?
I think it's a crystal ball, and there's a
Oh,
little
then
book
no.
at the bottom.
Then no. Do you have one that's got like a star on it or something?
These 2 both have stars. I can't tell where the camera is. Like, there's stars on the top and the bottom
Okay.
of the picture.
The candle.
Candle
I
is
was
fine.
gonna vote for the mushroom though.
Too bad.
Which one of us do you like best, Danny?
Oh man,
No,
I already know
I'm
the
not.
answer to that. Who likes you better?
I'm not picking sides. The comments have to choose for me. Not choose who I like better. Choose a bookmark. But yeah, just gonna be reading.
Oh, sorry, Wallis, what are you doing?
I have a book that I am. Thank you, Crystal. Crystal agrees with me. Candle is superior. I'm going to be beta reading, and if you see me on my phone and think I'm on TikTok or something, it's not true. I'm beta reading. Okay, I
You
promise.
beat the reading on your phone?
Yes, because so
Okay.
I print off Katie's books whenever she sends me a book. I print it off. She's the only person I do that for because she's special. Because she just is. Everybody else is on a Word document, and usually I'll read it on my phone because I hate like reading on my computer because I feel like a little gremlin because of the way that you have to just sit and scroll. So I prefer reading on my phone.
Makes sense.
Fair enough. Why don't you read on your iPad then?
I do sometimes, but my phone is right next to me right here. So
Of course.
now I don't have to get up, Marta. That would include walking, which I've already done that today. So
Michael's gonna be working on an edit for his book.
Just one. Only one edit.
Yes. Crystal says, "Oh my God, Wallis, that was amazing."
I'm not acknowledging this, Crystal, because you have betrayed me in the comments. You initially were Candle, and now you're Mushroom, and I'm gonna ignore you. I'm not acknowledging you. Oh no, is my
Ooh.
Saturn not showing up? Well, it's Saturn.
Really?
It's a Saturn on StreamYard.
It's Saturn. It's the Saturn emoji. I'm not changing it. So enjoy my little box, but just know that it's Saturn.
Anna says, "Not her spiraling over what her true emoji self would be." Katie says, "New stories. I'm literally so hyped for this tier ranking and have been since you saw it live." I'm really behind on the comments, but yes, I am also very excited for this. Crystal's always excited for new stories. Elaine's eating lunk as well. Katie thinks she's gonna be filming the getaway.
To get ready. She corrected herself later. I think to like get ahead, not to get ready, to get ahead. Because yeah, there you go.
Okay. Interesting. So can we expect another video then? Are you officially back to YouTube?
Well, if you watch her video during the sprint, she says next Thursday.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it yet. Lunch is so overrated. Lunk for the win. Michael's eating lunk. Ooh, poll for the bookmarks. How do you do a poll?
I feel like Candle has won, specifically because
Yeah.
Laura said Candle. And Crystal said Candle before she lost her backbone and decided Marta.
Even if Crystal does go for Mushroom, that's... I don't know, that would be 2 and 2. I can't count. Oh
But
god,
my
I'm
vote
so
counts
bad at
double.
math.
Katie, you gotta
Did
come at
Katie
the rest
go?
of here, even though I just criticized Laura or Crystal for doing the same thing. Katie, back me up here. Make it 3. Make it 3.
Maybe I'll just use the one that no one voted for.
Katie's a big lunk supporter. Wait, no mushroom, because I gotta side with the chaos queen. Thank you, Crystal. Have fun on TikTok, Wallis.
I'm not gonna be on TikTok.
Anna's working, but will definitely...
Martha, you skipped Ralph Jenkins' comment.
I don't have YouTube open or I would have gotten the bots, because we've already had 2 and we've only been live for 15 minutes.
Well, Crystal's in the chat. Crystal, what are you doing?
Yeah, Crystal, what?
Anna's working, but will definitely write later tonight, trying to finish a book before the write-a-thon. What?
That's intense.
Then what are you going to do during the write-a-thon if you finish your book? Seems a little backwards.
Yeah, I will say, Anna, I've done that before where I literally did that with the last write-a-thon in October. I finished this book is for October, right before the write-a-thon, and then the write-a-thon was, excuse my French, it was total ass for me because I literally, I was so brain dead from having finished that story, so I didn't get anything done as far as I remember.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try very hard to be productive during this write-a-thon, but we'll see what happens. Michael, keep typing people. No! Why does Michael always do this to me?
Just block him. You have that ability. Put him in timeout.
Okay, but that's mean. It'd be the second time I put him in timeout. Wallis woke up and chose Violet today. Yes, I think he did. No anonymous poll, I refuse.
She's refusing my call to arms. She's refusing to support me. So, I'm taking note of that, Katie. Just so you know. You're on a list.
Got another vote for mushroom. Michael also votes mushroom.
I think it's mushroom then.
Should have just done the poll, would have been faster. This has to be the saltiest stream on record, and I'm here for it. Thank you, Crystal.
Michael and Elaine, also on a list now. So
I feel like the I was gonna say French. What's it called? Bangs.
Mm-hmm.
The bangs gives you like salty sort of like boss girl
no.
energy.
Horse girl?
No, boss girl. Like
Oh.
girl boss. I would never call you a horse girl for this.
Oh god.
I was like, so offended. We're good. Okay. Christ, I was literally about to go and get a headband and be like, it's done. The big experiment is over.
No, you look amazing, but your personality seems to have changed.
Well, it's. I think you can ask Katie, and that it really hasn't at all. It's just about the personality that I present. Oh, now I messed them up. They look really good right now. Hold on.
Crystal apparently already got the vote. Okay.
What are you smoking, Crystal? Putting the apostrophe in y'all in the wrong place. That's what you get for trying to use a southern word when you're Canadian.
That's funny. Y'all.
Is that not how you spell it?
No, it's Y apostrophe A-L-L.
Well, how am I
because it's
supposed to
you
know?
all.
Because it's you all. It's not. Yeah. Y'all. Like. No.
To be fair, that is how I was pronouncing it in my head for the first couple of months after meeting you lot.
Well,
So.
an apostrophe is supposed to replace the letters that you're skipping over, right? And so it's replacing the O and the U. So you put Y, and then instead of OU, you put an apostrophe, and then all, you all, y'all. That's how apostrophes work.
Okay, I'm sorry. Katie says total ass. You didn't love watching Rachel and I get hammered?
Look, I said it was ass in terms of productivity. I didn't say it was ass in terms of watching y'all be fools.
Michael is being mean. And that's hoping the writer-thon will be formatting and compiling a book's proof copy. That sounds like a good idea, but also you might want a break after writing.
As someone who had that exact same intention during the last write-a-thon, I just say, tread carefully.
Katie says, fine, if you want my honest opinion, I vote mushroom, but for Wallis, I vote candle.
No, that doesn't count. You're still on the list. Doesn't count, babe.
I think people don't want to sprint today.
I was sick.
Poor Skull Wallis.
I would never call you that, Wallis. You look amazing. I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just giving you a hard time.
She's just comfy on stream. This is true, Wallis. She's halfway to midnight.
Yeah, you would know that I felt uncomfortable if I was like, oh, and what do you think about that? Very prim and proper, Wallis.
That's actually such a nice compliment. I feel very happy that you're comfy. Crystal says I put it where
The
put it
apostrophe.
wherever I want. Put
That's what he
what?
said.
Okay. Michael says, Wallis, you're on my list. Here, look. Wallis, no, you're holding it upside down.
It's never upside down because it's in my brain, boob.
Crystal is the Picasso of grammar. Punctuation.
Oh, punctuation is what she meant. Okay, I still haven't got it.
I literally said she was talking about the apostrophe marks and you ignored me.
Well, I was too busy laughing to hear what you said.
I think it's time we sprint. I think we need
I
a
think
break.
so too, but there's so many comments. Okay.
There's only a few more.
Danny can write for Crystal, can't grammar to save her life. Danny's not a cowgirl. And Anna says, oh no. Oh no, there's more comments.
Michael, stop.
Okay, let's do a sprint.
You got this.
It's been long enough to watch Katie's video.
Yeah.
It's
Not
on
that I'm
the-
gonna be watching it now. I'm gonna watch it after the stream because I want to read. But
Wow.
my laptop is all the way over on the bed, and I don't like watching YouTube videos on my phone. So like,
No, I totally understand. That's me and having my phone instead of my iPad to read. I get you. Walking is so overrated.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I found the perfect timer, or the perfect length timer for this.
Wow, you found a 31-minute, 27-second timer.
No, it's only 31 minutes, unfortunately, but I
Okay.
think it will be.
But Katie's advice is very good to watch her video on, well, I would say 1.25, maybe not 1.5, because Katie talks pretty quickly. So, anyway, happy sprinting, everybody.
Happy sprinting.
Time's up. Several happens. LOL.
Thanks for the warning. How did everyone do during that sprint?
Well, I finished volume 1. Did not expect to read through it that fast, but I have read this volume before, and it's only 200 pages tops, and there's not a lot of words. It's mostly pictures. But, like, it's real cute, it's really good, and then I started volume 2, and I'm that far into it, so I'm going to finish it very quickly. So I'm probably going to have to grab other volumes for the rest of the stream.
I don't know how many pages I read because the person who I'm beta reading for did not label their page numbers. But I got through a couple chapters. Sorry?
It's a big pet peeve. The first thing I do when I beta read for someone is add the page numbers in.
Yeah, but like honestly, of all the things, it's like so minor, and it's actually been quite a pleasure to read this book, so it's fine. But I got through a couple chapters, so I think in my like reading pace is usually about a page a minute, so I assume I got anywhere between like 25, 27 pages. So how about you, Marta?
I watched Katie's video.
How'd you like it?
It was so good. Also, I have a question relating to Katie's video.
Right.
Which is not directed at Katie, it's directed at the two of you.
Oh, okay.
When you make tea, do you leave the bag in there before you drink it, or do you take it out?
I take it out. I don't want it to overheat.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was an American thing or just a Katie thing.
It's a person by person thing. I do know people who just leave it in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's something very like aesthetic about the tea tag hanging over the
But she cut the tea tag off.
Did she? Well, then
I
I don't know.
so.
That's very strange. Yeah, well, and honestly, normally, recently, I make tea in like a tea maker, so I don't even have a tea bag. I have like an automatic brewer.
That sounds fancy.
So I don't really I use a lot of loose leaf teas. So I can't even remember the last time I did tea bag. Usually when I'm up at, okay, let me say this. I don't know if you need this detail of an answer, but when I'm in my cottage in Michigan, usually if I'm doing like an Earl Grey, I will leave the tea bag in, but that's because I like my Earl Greys, sorry, Marta, really milky, but I also really love the flavor of Earl Grey, and so it just takes a lot for that to seep to a point where I like it, and I'm never patient enough to let it get to that point before I start drinking it. So I definitely leave an Earl Grey in. That way the tea gets stronger over the course of drinking it. So it's usually the last couple sips that are my favorite.
But then, do you still add milk to it with the tea bag in there?
Yeah. And then I like dip it in the milk. And so
that sounds so weird.
We all have our different rituals. I met a lady. So last weekend, I think, last weekend my family hosted like a book club event, and there was a lady there who had a certificate in tea mastery, like the way a sommelier gets a certificate in wine, whatever. And yeah, it was super interesting talking to her, and I was like, wait, I kind of want to, this is something I'd love to do, is get a certificate in tea mastery. But she'd probably also be horrified by my tea habits.
Yeah, but if you like have a certificate in tea mastery, you can do whatever you want and no one could judge you for it.
That is true. That's a good point, because I could be like, I have a master's in tea.
Marta, you still have the banner up.
Thank you, yes. I did see you had a... Yeah, okay. Yep. There was a message in the private chat that I was gonna look at after you... Like, I can't read and listen at the same time. Thank you. There was a couple of comments. I think Michael was sharing something. Let me see. Wait until Violet gets here. Well, joke's on you, Michael, because Violet is not getting here. She's unavailable this week, which is why she's not here in the first place. And Michael came across this elevator pitch for his book that he is going to share. and he's gonna make me read it out for him. Roses Are Red, a work of literary fiction and magical realism, is the story of a broken wanderer who discovers within a forest a beautiful place that he can dwell in as one broken or bid farewell to as one mended.
It's okay. This is how I think it's meant to be phrased. Like, it's saying that he has two options. So he discovers a magical forest, and it's a beautiful place that he can either dwell in as a broken person, or he can bid farewell to as a mended person. That's how I'm interpreting it. But it is, maybe could use a little restructuring to be a little clearer.
It's a very Michael way of phrasing.
It makes sense now you've explained it though.
Yeah, but the point of an elevator pitch is to be like immediately clear to almost everyone who you've ever said it to. So
He's just subverting it.
I mean, you're welcome to do that. I don't know how successful you'll be, but you're welcome to do that.
I mean, Wallis is the one with an agent, so I think Michael should listen to her.
Well, no. I refuse this idea. I got my agent in a very, very unconventional way. I am not out here being like, this is what you do to get an agent, because the truth is, I didn't do shit. Oh, sorry, I didn't do anything. I had someone in my life who was like, send your book to this person, and so I did. And then they were like, I want to represent you, and that's not, no. I did not earn my agent in a like savvy way, so don't take my advice.
I will always take your advice though. Candra's here. Hello, Candra. Michael finished that edit. Katie didn't film but did get ready, fed the dogs, and cleaned the kitchen. Well, that's really productive. Elaine watched Katie's video while eating butter chicken. Crystal watched Katie's video and had the most depressing root beer she's ever had.
How is your root beer depressing?
Yeah, I know, I'm really interested.
Katie likes her tea strong, like the mountains. And she hates the string, it gets tangled on the spoon and gets in her mouth. I was really confused with, like, when she cut it, I just assumed, oh, she'll just take the tea bag out with a spoon afterwards or something, but then she didn't.
See, what I do is I leave the string on, and then when I take the tea bag out, I still use a spoon, and then I wrap the string around it to squeeze all the liquid out of the tea bag. I don't know if that's like a thing other people do, but like, that's just how I've always done it.
I mean, the tea bags I use don't have a string on them, so I just fish them out with a spoon. But
You have the little circular packets. Tea bags. They're like little circles, but like a almost really fine mesh. No?
So,
What shape are your tea bags?
I'm pretty sure they're rectangular.
Oh, weird. I love tea bags that are circular because they plop right down into the bottom and they fit so nice.
No, mine are like sort of rectangular, but then like a little bit wider at the bottom, so like kind of like a pyramid, but also
What
not really.
brand?
Just the local supermarket owned ones. Because I buy very cheap tea because I go through 6 of them a day. Michael says, Martha, Wallis, may I ask you a question about Kate's video?
Yeah, I was like, I'm here as the Catherine ambassador, so please direct any and all Katie questions to me.
Crystal says, depends on the tea for her. Some tea she sets a timer on and removes the bag after a timer. Other tea she leaves it in until the mug is empty. Fair enough. Anna knows a tea lady also. She maintains that 2 minutes is the peak keeping time, but Anna's one of those heathens that just leaves it in.
But I feel like you can't say so blanketly that it's 2 minutes, because I think with different teas, you got different levels, like a green tea versus a black tea versus a flowering tea. Like a flowering tea is always, just for the visual aesthetic, I'm not gonna ever take the stuff out. So that's always gonna be steeping for longer. And green teas I usually let steep less than black teas. I don't know. Maybe it is 2 minutes. I don't know. Whatever.
You have to get
I'm
your tea
impatient,
certificate and
so-
let us know.
I will.
I'm really impatient, so I just like pour the water and then take it out immediately and drink it.
Interesting.
So you like your tea quite weak then?
But I
Martin, maybe
press it,
that's why
like-
you're drinking 6 a day. Maybe if you actually let it steep properly, you wouldn't need to drink 6 a day.
No, I drink 6 a day because going to the kitchen to make tea is a good way of not actually doing my job.
It's fair.
I mean, it's an easy break that I can justify, so I just go and make tea whenever I'm bored or tired. Also Becca's here. Hello. And yeah. Anna would call writing a banger of a book to be earning your agent.
I can't state that it is a banger of a book though, you know. So it's a book.
You should ask your agent. Just be like, would
Can
you
I-
describe this book
As
as
a banger?
banger?
I think I would already know the answer.
I mean, if you let me read it, then I can confirm either way.
Maybe I would.
Exciting. Crystal says it was from A&W, you know, my favorite place to get root beer. It tasted weak, pretty close to water, and she thinks the dispenser was broken.
Oh,
That is
that's so
disappointing.
sad.
That sounds awful. Katie loves that style of key bag. The pyramid shape is so satisfying. Michael says, let's tier rank key bag shapes. Well, we know Wallis' favorite. What's your key bag shape, Danny?
I don't know. I've only ever used like the rectangles with the string on it, or like loose leaf. I don't think I've used other shapes.
Katie says, Crystal and my Josh, that's disappointing. Their root beer is usually banging. Michael says triangular for the win. And Crystal was very sad about the root beer. And Katie says, or you could leave the bag in and then it's strong. Good point. I didn't think of that. Then I could also drink it immediately, couldn't I? It's fine. It's strong enough. Do we want to do another sprint? We're like over halfway through the time and we've only done one, but also
We did do a long one though.
we did do a
That
long
is
one.
true.
I don't know. I asked my bookmark question. It's your guys' turn to come up with a question.
We were supposed to have questions.
Well, I normally
Yeah.
prepare like questions beforehand, but I didn't because of the
Wow,
last
no
minute
banner, no questions. I can tell you were really excited to have me on as a guest.
I was. Seriously, like Wednesday's video, I finished editing like right before bed on Tuesday, and then uploaded at lunchtime on Wednesday. Like this week has been, I've just been behind on everything.
I really enjoyed that video though.
Thank you. Crystal says loose leaf circle square pyramid, but all key bags are pretty close to equal. And Wallace didn't even know there was an assignment.
Just call me always. Oh, actually, I wasn't aware there was an assignment. Yeah.
That's okay. I feel like we've had a discussion about key anyway, so I'm gonna find another sprint. Do we feel like a shorter one this time, or do we want another really long one?
I mean, I'm reading, so I usually prefer longer sprints, but since we've already done one, we can do a shorter one to balance it out. It's up to you.
Is 25 minutes long enough, or?
25 minutes sounds solid.
Because I know otherwise Danny will hate me for doing 2 long sprints.
I don't hate you. But also I am reading, so I don't really care anyway.
Yeah, you have to get through another full volume, Danny.
Not a full volume, like 2/3 of a volume. And then I can get volume 3 from the living room.
Yeah.
There's only 11 volumes, so like I'm probably gonna finish this tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then like the next day. I am zooming through all of my manga this month.
I'm really excited for the wrap up this month.
Yeah.
In honor of having Wallis on today.
Scoop?
Yes.
Yay!
You sounded so concerned when you said that.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, just as a fair warning, Marta, I think this is the one that actually has the dock sounds, so just be aware that. Oh, you haven't muted. Okay, you're good.
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay. Good luck, everyone.
Oh no. Goop has failed us.
Well, I think there were only 2 minutes left. Shall we just end it there?
Sure.
Don't really know how to fix it. Okay, well, I guess that was the end of the sprint.
Sorry. I don't know what happened to her. Maybe it's because I just deleted my channel.
Wallis, no.
Goop went to Goop Heaven.
Yeah,
March of the Banner.
thank you.
It is so your brain just like ignores it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you guys do?
I got volume 3, and it's this really pretty purple color on the cover, and I love it so much.
How are
The
you
art in
reading
this
these
is
so
gorgeous.
fast?
It's manga. It's like,
Still.
You don't like to look at the pictures?
I mean,
Whenever
I do, but like, what am I supposed to do? Oh gosh, I lost the page. What am I supposed to do with this? This is just a blank black
you
page.
sit there and you appreciate the emotions it's trying to evoke.
I do, and then I keep going.
Yeah, you do for like 2.5 seconds. You're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just read fast.
I got a tad bit distracted during that sprint, so I decided I was just going to watch some videos that have been uploaded recently, so I started watching Laura's most recent video. Laura knows. How about you, Marcia?
And I decided that I was gonna read since both of you were reading, although Wallis was no longer reading. So
Oops, my B.
that's
Only
fine.
2 people can read at once. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the rule of the universe, actually.
I think we had someone join us. Cool Gamers, yeah, hello. And also, yes, Goop broke.
Someone call the lifeguard.
Katie says her mother came in, so she talked to her, finally is ready to film, and we'll see what happens.
Sorry, my dog is asking for belly rubs right now. Hold on.
Sure. Are we gonna get to see the doggy?
Sure. Okay, come here. What's that? Where'd you see?
Oh, so cute.
What is that? You see? Who's out there? Who's out there? Can you say hello to Who's out there? Good girl. Oh no.
I'm sorry. Oh, she's so cute.
She's my little watchdog. She scans the street every so often to make sure nobody's getting too close.
No.
She's a good girl. Yes, we're talking about you.
Crystal pulled her book out, opened it, and then didn't read. Well, only 2 of us can read at the same time, Crystal, obviously. Elaine got toast.
Ooh.
And it was good.
Nice.
Also lots of support for little K.
Thanks, Becca. Yeah, she does. Very, very seriously.
Seeing as I got criticized earlier for not having questions for you and a red carpet and all of that, I did actually make a banner.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's all light teasing, not to be taken seriously.
I know. But I did manage to think of questions.
Okay.
So, since we were all reading, this felt appropriate. I was wondering how you deal with multiple stories at the same time, and whether you can read multiple books at the same time, and whether that same thing applies to when you're beta reading. So does that count? Can you still read for pleasure and beta read at the same time? And also, how do you handle it when you're writing a book? Do you still read? And can you read multiple books? Or can you just write?
That's a good question.
That's a fabulous, fabulous question.
I used
Danny,
to be the
luckily
kind-
you have to go first.
I was gonna say, I used to be the kind of person who could, like, read a million books at once. I remember in, like, 3rd grade or something, me and this girl, Caitlin, we sat next to each other in class.
Caitlin
And
Nash.
no, Caitlin with a K. First of all.
Okay.
But like, well, I hear an echo. I'm just gonna keep going anyway. We had like a competition to see who could have the highest stack of books on our desk. And we got in trouble, and I think I had like 21 books. I don't know how many of those I was reading at one time. It was certainly not the whole stack, but it was like maybe 7 or 8. And like, I don't know how I did that, because now I'm like 1 book and 1 manga at a time at most, because I feel like the different formats help like keep them separate. As for beta reading, I can't beta read more than 1 at a time. I have to like finish 1, and then my critique brain can move on to the next. And the book I'm writing doesn't count. That's just in my head. It's not like an actual thing.
What about beta reading and reading at the same time, though? So, like, if you're beta reading 1 book, can you still read a book that isn't manga at the same time?
Yeah, because it's like it's still reading, but in a different way. Like if I'm reading this, I'm not reading this to like critique the story or anything. It's just like to enjoy, and like I mean I enjoy reading stuff that I'm beta reading, but like it's also got a second thing that I'm doing while reading. So yeah, that's my answer.
That's really interesting. Wallis, have you thought of an answer yet?
It's tough because I have been in like a years long reading, I don't want to say slump, more than just like trough, I guess, where like I'm reading, but it's just at a consistently lower level than how I read it when growing up. Like Danny, I was like, and it wasn't that I could read lots of books at the same time. I just got through books so fast. Like I remember, like specifically, there was 1 week of school where I came with a different book every single day, and my teacher even, sorry, little Kay's having a dream or something. She just freaked out. It's okay. And my teacher even commented on it, 'cause she was like, have you been finishing all these books? But
I've gotten that comment before too.
yeah. But I think I'm like really trying to consider. So when I get into that like reading frenzy, which is pretty rare these days, but for example, I just kind of had it recently with the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I could not possibly read another book because I am so completely absorbed by that book. And I think I read that book in like a total of like 10 hours over the course of 1 day. So I was like completely absorbed by that. But if there's a book where I'm like kind of going piecemeal by it, then yeah, I can be reading multiple things at the same time. Like right now I'm beta reading. Well, technically I'm beta reading for Katie and somebody else, but I'm focusing on that somebody else's story right now. But I am also like listening to this, what's the first book in the Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archives? The Way of Kings. I'm listening to that as an audiobook, and I'm about to pick up like I have a nonfiction book that I'm reading. I think it's easier for me with like nonfiction to also have incorporated that as well, because I have like an economics book that I'm reading right now, but I don't really count that as like using the same mental brain. And then for writing, I don't know. I feel like I would feel like if I was in the process of really deep dive writing a book, like trying to get it done by a deadline, like I had a set deadline, I was trying to get it done. I feel like I'd almost feel guilty reading, because I'd be like, this is time and creative energy that could be spent on my own story. But I did read a lot of Ice Planet Barbarians last year when I was writing this book is for October, so I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I know myself well enough and at this stage of reading in my life to be able to answer this question truthfully. I think somebody else who like pays attention to my writing and reading habits is better equipped to answer it, I guess. So, how about you, Marta?
So Katie should answer for you.
Yeah.
I really struggle with multiple stories, so like
Mhm.
I can't read multiple books, including beta reading. And with writing, I can sort of like it depends on the book, and it depends on what part of the book I'm in.
Mhm.
Generally, if I'm in like the first half of a book, I can still write.
Mhm.
When I get to that second half where it gets more interesting, I just pause writing and finish it quickly, and then
Yeah.
go back to writing because I
Yeah.
can't keep track of both stories at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think over the course of like a long trend, yes, I can switch between stories. But if it were like looking on a short, on like a day scale, I don't think I could write during that day and read one fiction book and read another fiction book. I feel like that's way too much switching between. But Marta, I want to know, like, do you read a lot of nonfiction, and can you switch between fiction and nonfiction pretty easily?
I don't actually read a lot of nonfiction these days. I used to, but I've switched back to fiction.
Gotcha. How about you, Danny?
I'm not really a nonfiction person. Like, I have a couple that I'm like interested in reading, but nonfiction as a genre isn't one that I tend to go for. It's
But there's so
mostly
many
writing
genres
books,
within.
honestly.
It's not even a genre, it's like a category, the way that fiction is a category.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess I like nonfiction books that are either about writing or writers. So,
that's
like, I have a
interesting.
book about Henry David Thoreau that I really want to read. And, like, I have one that is written by the guy who created the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga, and it's about writing manga. And even though manga is not something that I ever plan on writing, it's still something that interests me. And
That's
so,
interesting.
like, that's the kind of nonfiction I lean towards.
I the most like incredible creative time in my life was when I wrote my first draft of Project EC, and I was in 19 credit hours in school, and all of them were science related. I was like in 2 computer programming classes, an astronomical instrumentation class, and like a molecular cellular developmental biology class. And I feel like that is why I had such intense creative energy, because I had such a huge pull on my logical brain that being creative was a way of refilling the well. And so I've been trying as like an experiment, now that I'm no longer my economics master's. Obviously I'm no longer getting my bachelor's degree. I haven't been for years and years, but I'm not my economics master's anymore, and I'm very much in charge of my day-to-day existence. I've been trying to like mimic it by reading nonfiction books that are almost like textbooks. Like I've been reading a lot of books on economics. I've been trying to refresh my brain on astronomy and astrophysics and molecular biology, and as like, yeah, just like as an experiment to see if reading those types of stories, or not stories, but like books, and getting in that headspace helps me at all more easily enter into the creative space. But I don't know. I haven't officially made it.
Are you vlogging that? Because that sounds super interesting.
I
Yeah.
have not been, but now I'm gonna make a note of it.
That is a really interesting hypothesis that you have.
It was like a personal goal of mine to start doing that at the start of the year. And I have like a list of all the things I want to get back into. But so far I've read 2 economics books, and then I like leafed through one of my very old, well, it's technically one of my astronomy textbooks, but it was about atmospherics. So it wasn't like, about stars. It was about how atmospheres work. So it was, very random, but yeah, maybe, I don't know.
found
That's like,
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, like, I didn't even, I'm usually the first person to be like, everything is content, but I didn't think anybody would give a crap about that content. So
It's so interesting,
Okay.
definitely.
Alright.
I was gonna say I find it really interesting that you feel that way though, because I sort of have the opposite experience, like with engineering at least. I find it really difficult to do during the day and then go to writing later. Like I do feel like it uses a similar part of my brain, at least with like rewrites and revisions.
Wait, but
Maybe
you said
not so much with
engineering, though.
drafting.
But you said you're in engineering.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you, because I feel like, and this was always a discussion in my degree, right? Because we were in astrophysics and stuff, but then there's the whole other side of the school that is, we had a huge engineering department, and there was always talked about how, engineers versus scientists and their brains work differently. And I do believe that even though engineering is like considered a science, and it is a science, it uses up a ton of creative energy. And I think I could totally understand why it wouldn't refill the well in the way that like just learning about science. Because like when I worked in a lab for 18 months, and that used up a lot of similar creative energy, because at that point you're engineering experiments. And I think that was probably the worst point in my life for writing. I mean, I loved my time in the lab, but I just barely wrote at all. So I can totally understand why the actual process of like trying to be creative with how to solve problems, because that's a lot of what engineering is how to solve problems and how to figure out answers that nobody has an answer to. Yeah, I could totally understand why that doesn't aid you. It detracts from other creative outputs. Do you feel like crochet refills a well at all? Because it's like it's creative, but it's like mechanically creative. So I don't know if it helps.
Yeah, it's literally just shutting my brain down and counting. So
Yeah.
it's very nice.
Yeah, that's how I feel about cross stitch. It's like it's meditative, almost. Well, what do you have that refills your well? Is there something that you try to utilize that's like so opposite of creativity that it kind of allows you time for your creative well to fill up while you're doing this other thing?
I'm honestly not sure. I think that's part of the reason why I keep burning out. Like, I need to figure out what to do that's different.
Yeah. If you had to like brainstorm, what are some things that you would like to try out?
Well, I used to ice skate before the pandemic.
Really?
I feel like that would help.
That would be amazing.
I'm not very good. Like, I started like as an adult. It's not like I'm good at it.
But still, that's amazing. Did you have like a coach, or was it just like you would go to the rink and practice?
I took, like, the university had an ice skating club, so I took some classes there.
That's amazing.
But of course, I'm not a student anymore.
Yeah.
They've really increased the prices because of the pandemic, because they've like limited the number of people. And we've also moved, so it's now really far away from me, so it's not really an easy option to get back into anymore. But yeah, I guess sports would be a thing that I should try.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
How about you,
I've,
Dean?
like, I've never been into like the sciences or sports or anything. Like, I did sports when I was a kid. I did like middle school. I did cheerleading, basketball, and soccer. So I was like doing sports year round. And then, but like I was never into like science and stuff. It was like interesting, but not anything I was like drawn to. And then in high school, I got into like theater and stuff, and I did all like the school productions and everything, and I stopped doing sports. And then when I got to college, all of my classes were like creative writing and English literature and stuff. And like I took a math class and I took astronomy as my science because I had to like cover credits. But like whenever I could, even my electives were like creativity based. And so I like, I don't know, hearing you guys talk about how like other aspects of things affect your creative brain is really interesting, because I just never had an experience like that. I feel like this year the closest thing I can think of is my language learning, because I'm really making an effort to study Korean and Italian, and I've been doing an hour of each over the course of every week, and I've been sticking to that. And I feel like it's making me think about English in a different way, because like grammar is structured differently and things like that. And so whenever I like finish my like, so what I do is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday each have 15 minutes of Italian, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday have 15 minutes of Korean to like get to an hour of each. And so Thursdays, I feel like I'm always thinking about my own writing more, because I've done a little bit of Italian and a little bit of Korean. And so I've just got a whole lot of words in my head. But like that's the closest I can think of to what you guys are talking about.
That's really interesting, but
Yeah, it
also
is.
relating to the question on the screen, how on earth do you keep track of learning 2 new languages at the same time? Because that's so impressive.
Duolingo. It's
Still.
Duolingo, and I subscribe to a bunch of different YouTube channels that are like meant for learning languages.
Yeah.
But
no,
like,
No, I'm the same.
So-
I'm doing Spanish and Swedish on Duolingo right now. It's
I feel
called
like you need
Duo.
to do like I feel like you need to pick like varying languages. Like if I was doing Italian and Spanish at the same time, I could never. But because Italian and Korean are vastly different from each other and also vastly different from English, I feel like I can keep it separate.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think, like, for me, I grew up in Texas, and so, I mean, I'm not even close to fluent in Spanish. I know how to keep a very basic level conversation, but that's also been helpful because it's like it's something I already have a teensy little bit of proficiency in, and then Swedish, it's like a brand new language, so there's it's and they're fairly different from each other. I think they have different origins. Swedish isn't a romantic language, so
Why Swedish? I don't think I know anyone else trying to learn Swedish.
I have Swedish family members, and a lot of them. So I have a cousin who married a Swedish man, and she has 4 Swedish children, and they are 4 of the most precocious boys in the world. And I thought it'd be really, really funny if we always meet up every summer, and I thought it'd be really funny if this summer I met up with them and I just started talking to them in Swedish. So I'm doing it for the lulz. I'm doing it
A
for the
good
joke.
reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I spent 100 hours of my life so that I could walk up to you and be like, "Hey, how was your school year in Swedish?" When I could just learn that one phrase, but it's fine. Mainly, it's because when they were really little, they like always were super polite and would like switch when they were talking to us. But now that they're teenagers, sometimes they'll like when they want to talk about us in front of us, they will switch to Swedish and talk and like gossip in front of us in Swedish, and then they'll like laugh about it. And so I kind of want to just like come in with that, and so it just makes them think every time they want to be sassy with me.
So you just want to one up these children. Got it.
It's always me against the children, Danny. You know this.
Yeah.
Also, in general, I just love Sweden. Stockholm's one of my favorite cities. It's beautiful.
It's fair.
Marta's like, disagree, but okay.
No, I've never been to Sweden.
Your smile was just so like,
No, I was
didn't know
just
if you would
trying to
be-
remember pictures of Sweden and realized that I can't picture it at all, so I decided not to comment.
Gotcha. I thought you had secret beef with Sweden that I didn't know about. And it's like,
Secret beef with Sweden.
yeah.
I'm gonna get back to the comments because we have like 5 minutes left of scheduled time and I'm so behind.
It's fine. This is a good conversation.
Yeah, it's fine. Michael says, I read the first 2 pages of his book today, starting his reread of it apparently. Katie says, I often have like 3 books I'm reading and I rotate depending on mood, and I can usually read published books and beta books at the same time because I'm focusing more with beta books. We've got another bot over here that I hope Crystal is.
Thanks, Brie County.
Katie says, if I'm in a writing group, then I barely read because the time I spend reading is spent writing instead. Yeah, I also feel like when I'm getting to like parts in the story that require more attention, I just stop reading altogether. Crystal says, I can only read 1 book at a time. My brain can't seem to process more than one thing without getting confused. Yes. But she will forget that she was reading book A if she starts book B. And Michael says, I don't put any stock in how many or how few books I read at one time. Okay. Becca apparently likes Way of Kings. Interesting. I've been meaning to read something by Sanderson at some point. Do I want to ask you what you think of the new Sanderson Secret Project? With 4 minutes left of scheduled time, because I kind of really want your opinions.
So bitter and mad at him for being such an incredibly efficient writer.
Yeah.
But, also, amazing congratulations on the huge success of the Kickstarter. That's amazing and inspiring, and I think he absolutely deserves it for the level of work that he's done. So good for him. But also, screw you.
Yeah, it's kind of insane what he's done.
Like, yeah. I had to really sit there and analyze why I was so annoyed during that video. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But with every new manuscript you brought out, I was like, you're being a jerk. You're being mean. And then I realized, I was like, no, he's not.
I felt that way at first. When he did the first one, I'm like, oh, look at you getting stuff done during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But then, like, he did the second one, and I'm like, oh my god, he, like, actually applied himself to this. And then there was, like, 3 more, and I'm like, damn, this is really impressive, and I'm actually really happy for him.
I went through a roller coaster of emotions, but I'm always of the belief that you are not your first emotion. You are your second reflection. And so, you know, I think my initial emotion was intense jealousy that was like manifesting itself as just like annoyance with him. I was like, oh my god, this is so not classy to brag about this like this. But then I was like, if you did this, you would absolutely brag about this because it's brag worthy. Like it deserves to be bragged about. So yeah, no, I'm just super, super happy for him and his success. It's incredible.
Do you think you'll be backing the Kickstarter? Or... Sorry, what did you say before?
I was saying, I was asking what you thought of it.
Oh, sorry. I thought the video was really funny. And it's really cool. But I haven't read anything from him before, so.
Yeah,
Same.
I've, you know, there's so many people who are just like in love with his writing, and that's why I started listening to The Way of Kings on audiobook. And I think it might actually have to be something that I try and read as opposed to like visually read as opposed to audiobook, because I've been really enjoying audiobooks recently, and there's nothing particularly wrong about the narrator, but I'm just not connecting with the audiobook. I feel very like, well, it's multi-POV, so we know how I feel about that.
Have you read Mistborn, or is this like your first?
Way of Kings is my first Sanderson novel. So and right now I'm not backing because I'm just not invested in like him as an. Oh, wait, that sounds so fucking mean.
We know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
What made you pick up Way of Kings first? Because Stormlight Archive is like the sequel series to Mistborn, but it's not like a true sequel. It's I think it's like hundreds of years in the future, but it like plays off of the events of Mistborn, if what I've heard is correct.
Damn. Okay. I picked it because there had been this is so funny. I was just talking to Katie about this. There was a girl in BookTube who her channel was called like X Catherine, and I had found her. I have no idea how I found her, but she was obsessed with Brandon Sanderson, and I specifically remember her talking about The Way of Kings and hyping it up. And then, and I haven't watched her in years, but I was on Audible the other day, like a month ago, and I was just browsing and I saw Way of Kings. And I was like, oh, that's that book she was talking about. And I saw that it was 45 hours long, and I was like, oh my god! And I just kind of had to download it because I was like, what book is this long? So, but yeah, I think that's really interesting to know that is. I'm like basically being dropped in the middle of something. So you recommend I start with Mistborn instead?
I don't recommend anything because I haven't read any Brandon Sanderson.
Oh.
But I know that it's the Mistborn trilogy.
Becca, tell me what to do, because Becca indicated that she loved one versus the other. So yeah, there you go. Becca, give me directions and I'll follow your directions because I really want to like him.
The first trilogy is called Mistborn Era 1, and then the Stormlight Archive, I think, is called Mistborn Era 2, unless Mistborn Era 2 is something completely different. Like I said, I've never read any of his books. I've just kind of been aware.
I'm not sure about the labeling, but I think like Mistborn is 6 books, and there's like it's actually 2 trilogies.
I think the second one is 4, but the first Mistborn is a trilogy, and then the second era is 4 books, but the 4th one hasn't come out yet, and then there's going to be a 3rd one. Maybe Stormlight is separate, like it's in the Mistborn world, but it's not Mistborn Era 2.
I have also heard to not start with Stormlight though, but I don't think it's like a direct sequel. It's just the same universe? I don't know. I haven't read either of them either, so.
I love how we're trying to talk about this when none of us have any idea about it.
And also, her next comment Becca's latest comment is blowing my mind. Like, what?
Oh my god, I'm gonna scroll down and lose
planets?
myself.
Oh my god.
What? Different planets? Is this sci-fi or is it
It's like sci-fi. It's fantasy set in a sci-fi world is how I've heard it described.
But like if
Like
you've
it very
got,
much toes the line between them.
but if you've got humans on both planets, now I guess I shouldn't assume that they're humans on both planets, but if you have humans on both planets, that seems to indicate a level of galactic expansion, because the odds that two bipedal humanoid species would develop on two separate planets feels very astronomical to me.
I
So
feel like
like
it's very specific to you, Wallis. I feel like not a lot of other people would think of that.
I feel like it's common sense. But I don't know. No, yeah, I need to know. Like, does it eventually get like revealed that everybody's related to everybody, or like maybe it's all taking place in the Dune universe during the like Dark Ages after there was huge galactic expansion, but then everybody forgot about it, and then they were like all these planets were reduced back to like feudal state medievalism. I don't know. This is interesting. Now I'm really interested. Becca's telling me which to start with, so I'll okay, Steelheart. Nothing to do with Cosmere, though. Okay. Look, that's normal sized. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank
to
you,
know.
Becca. I really appreciate your insight, because clearly I was a lost little lamb.
Okay, and she says Stormlight is not related to Mistborn. Then what's the name of the second Mistborn series? Because I know there's like a second series that he's almost finished with. And I have no idea what that one is called, because I can't think of any other Sanderson books except for Skyward, which is completely separate from any of this, because that's his YA series.
Okay, actually, though, I take it back. I did read Skyward, and I was like, I don't know. But yeah, it just was, I was a young adult, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Oh man, actually, I could talk about that book at length, because I had some major gripes with it, but it's fine, because we're over time, and I don't want to stress Marta out. But what does this mean? What does this mean, Becca? They're planets. They're connected through the Cosmere. I've always just assumed Cosmere is Sanderson's word for like his universe. It's what he calls the universe he writes in. Does it mean something else? Like, is it like a plane of existence, like in D&D or something like that? What is a Cosmere? Becca, as our resident
Becca needs to make a
Sanderson
video
expert.
breaking down everything about Brandon Sanderson for us.
Becca!
Please.
Yes! Free content for Becca idea. I mean, not free because you have to spend the time making it, but please make an intro to the Brandon Sanderson universe specifically for author tubers. Thank you.
Yeah, but what is that series called? Because that's what I can't think of right now, is what the sequel series is called. And I know I've heard it before somewhere, because I did just recently, like, read Brandon Sanderson's Wikipedia page, but...
Girl, why?
Because he put out a video about his whole 5 secret books in Kickstarter, and I'm like, damn, maybe I should get into Brandon Sanderson. And I also, I just bought the first, like, the original Mistborn trilogy. I just bought secondhand a month ago, I think. Like, I've never owned any of his books until I saw them secondhand, and I'm like, huh.
Gotcha. Becca, yes. Becca, you need to join our Discord. Please.
I think the link is below if you do want to join the Discord, Becca.
Come in and then immediately leave, because you'll be like really freaked out. Also, while you're at it, I don't know if you write romance, but Katie runs a brothel-themed Discord as well, so you can always join the brothel. But my Discord...
Katie does what?
You don't know about
You didn't know about that?
Marcia, you don't know about the brothel?
I've been meaning to join that, but every time I finally find the link, it's expired by the time I get to it, and I'm like, cool, I guess I'm just never going to join this Discord.
Yeah. But so, Becca, this is me telling you that technically the Troublemakers, but really it's me. I run a Discord that's library themed. I like to curate a beautiful, calming place that eventually, occasionally erupts into burning flames and everybody is chaotic. But then Katie's over here running a brothel, so she's our esteemed madam. But yeah, she has her own Discord now for romance writers. So everybody join all the Discords. And it's okay if you don't understand Discord, because I didn't and I don't, but I still run one. So
It's easier than it looks when you first enter, and it's a little overwhelming. Like, you get used to it very quickly.
And you can go straight to the information desk channel, and I've written a whole write-up explaining what all the channels are for. So
It's very in-depth and only throws a little bit of shade at me and Violet.
yes.
You know, I want you
Well
to know,
deserved.
Wallis, that like every maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, Violet and I message each other being like, you know, we should really go back through all of the trouble streams and like actually put stuff in the archives. And then we're like, later.
It's
But
fine.
it happens every now and then. We're
Just-
like, we should do this.
Just know one day you're gonna wake up and your roles will have been reassigned.
That's fine. I deserve that.
No, it's okay. Honestly, it's kind of funny at this point. I mean, it's funny always.
Also, Katie, can I have the link too, please?
Yeah.
I
I'm
can
gonna
talk
go
about
back
the
to...
manga that I just finished because it was very unexpectedly smutty. I mean, I
Ooh.
expected it now
And
because
with
I had read a
pictures.
few, but when I
Nice.
first read it, I did not expect smut.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go back all the way to this comment and quickly because, oh my god, we're never gonna end the stream, are we?
Fine, we can just ignore comments. We don't have to
I
be
can't
good.
ignore
good
comments.
streamers.
They're answering
Danny,
the questions I
How
made.
dare you be the person just ignoring comments?
I think out of all of us here, I'm the one who gets to say that.
No, because if someone ever ignores your comment, oh, they get called out
Yeah.
live on stream. Danny's just like, yep, I know what I'm about.
I could be a hypocrite. I don't mind being that.
Katie says, I also recently read an absolutely terrible book and now I'm getting into writing mood because it has a similar concept to a book idea I have. So I'm like, I could write this but better.
Katie, don't let this become a new shiny idea. Focus on the project you're working on right now, babe.
Becca would absolutely want to watch something.
I think this is
Wallis's
about my
vlogs.
Yes.
the brain switching. Although I was thinking, since I'm thinking about trying to build a telescope, and so maybe that could be the vlog of like that physical, like hands-on work and scientific work helps aid my creative process. Because I think the thing that really helped me during that semester was just how busy I was, right? And it felt like the book that I was writing was like a life raft. So I kind of want to create a big project for myself to see if that also gears me towards using creativity as a outlet. So I don't know. It could be the dumbest idea to just make myself even busier than I already am. But
I mean, please build a telescope and please film it. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
I really want to. I mean, my channel banner says science and fairy tales. I feel like I'm
Exactly.
only doing fairy tales. It's fine.
That sounds so good. Absolutely do that, please.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anna says, I have a hard time writing if I'm not currently reading anything. It's like I instantly forget 70% of the words I know and my prose gets so plain and stunted from not absorbing language. That's really interesting.
That is. I can imagine that. Sewing being like crochet or cross stitch. Yeah. And you always just make the most incredible things. I'm constantly amazed, Becca, by the things you create. They're incredible.
Did you see the fort she made with all of the dragon pillars? Yes! It was so good.
It was so amazing.
I feel like this stream has just become like a Becca fangirl stream at this
Yeah.
point. We're all trying to recruit her into Discord. Grape says that's a lot. Danny was on X Games mode.
I really was.
Katie says same Danny. I've always been a humanities gal, but I love watching documentaries, which tends to inspire aspects of my writing too, world building and plot elements. Michael says video games tend to get a bad rap amongst the stuffy writerly types, but I'm telling you, video games totally awesome for taking time off. I did get into Stardew Valley recently, but then I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's no longer relaxing and it's just addicting, so I think I'm gonna stop playing it as often.
Mm-hmm. That can be such a fine line to walk.
Okay.
When did he send that message?
He's already back.
About 20 minutes ago.
He's asking to see coffee.
Like, little coffee? He's in the other room though.
Oh, okay.
What a power move from Wallis.
This was about me speaking Swedish to my cousins.
Verbal drop kick.
Yeah.
Becca immediately gave... Oh, Brandonson, Hemony.
Mm-hmm.
Brandonson?
Brandon Sanderson.
Brando Sando?
You know what I
Brando
meant.
Sando.
I was so tempted, like at first I thought, like, oh, I can just get the ebooks afterwards, but then he said that the physical editions have illustrations on them. And it was like, okay, but I want the illustrations.
Exactly, the FOMO! Ugh.
I feel like if I actually read something from him by the end of the month, then maybe. But if I don't get around to it, then I'm not gonna spend money on this. Katie says, but also how dare he do
Katie.
that? How
Get out, miss. I wrote 4 books in 2.5 years. Literally just said that in your most recent vlog. Goodbye.
She did say that.
Yeah. Bye.
Katie says Elantris was the future of Mistborn. And I think this is where we get into the Cosmere stuff, so I'm gonna scroll all the way down again.
The scroll very far.
I know! How did this happen? Katie doesn't understand, and apparently running a smart erotica romance theme Discord. Not sure if I read that earlier, but yes, I want the link. And Michael's back. Are we talking about Concord? Yes, building a telescope would be amazing.
All right.
Do it for
It's
Becca.
Becca approved.
Yes. No, Coffee's not around. He's in the other room. Katie loves Stardew Valley. Such a great game, but literally sucks me in for so long. Yeah, like, I've had to, like, set myself timers on my phone so that when it, like, rings, I have to stop playing, because when I, like, got into it, like, after I finished my book, I was just spending, like, 3 hours in the evening playing it, and then just going back to work the next day, and then just playing Stardew Valley again, and I wasn't doing anything.
Me with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, started becoming a problem when I woke up and realized that the entire kitchen was full of dishes and they hadn't been cleaned, and everything was just a mess and I couldn't find anything to have breakfast in. We've got it under control now, it's fine. Good old Mormon Brandesander. Crystal also likes Stardew Valley, and yeah, I'd get FOMO into getting the hard packs. Yeah. Stardew Valley is a game that keeps going through or one that ends. I don't know, I haven't gotten that far yet. And Crystal says it kinda ends, but it kinda doesn't. Okay. We're almost at the end. It has a lot of playability because you can marry different characters and stuff, so one character can end, but you can make a new one and marry new people. Okay.
My favorite is the girl that eats rocks. If I had Stardew Valley, I would romance her every time.
There's a girl that eats rocks.
I think she's got, I don't know if she has purple hair or a purple dress, but something about her little character icon is purple, and there's like a line of dialogue where, like, normally if you give someone like food, they'll make a comment about like how it's tasty or whatever, but this person, if you give her rocks, she makes that comment. And I just really love that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give her rocks and try that out. Also, I did not see this. What?
Yeah,
what was this?
Katie, I scrolled up, like,
Yeah,
way up, and
it.
I don't see any comment you left about asking for a wrench. Are you sure that one's sent? I don't see it.
I don't see it anywhere, but you can have a wrench.
Marta's just giving out wrenches.
I mean, this is Katie. Of course you can have a wrench.
Oh, yes, Katie, Abigail, thank you. I'm very glad you knew who I was talking about when I said the one who eats rocks.
What? Between Michael coming back and talking about
No, there's nothing there,
There's
Katie.
a comment there.
There's nothing there on StreamYard. I'll take a picture of you so you believe me.
Yeah. I can't see
I'll
it.
send this.
Oh,
There's
to
nothing.
send the erotica link in the chat. I just thought it was just randomly want a wrench for no reason. That makes sense. Do we want to do like a 5-minute sprint, or shall we just end the stream with no sprint?
I think we did
No
good.
sprint.
I think we're fine.
think we
We
did-
did a 31-minute sprint
55
and a
minutes.
25-minute sprint. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
We're
good.
good.
Okay. Okay, do we want to introduce each other, Chaos Queen style?
Well, no. I think we should do our own spin on it. I think we shouldn't even introduce. I think you should just end it while I'm talking right now. In fact, I'm going to keep talking until you just end the stream.